Garrett Wilson is him. The Jets rookie wideout was spectacular in his second career game against the Browns on Sunday. His ability to win off the line of scrimmage, at the stem, and versus zone coverage allowed him to feast down the stretch. So let's take a look at the All-22 together and I'll show you why Garrett Wilson is this year's Justin Jefferson. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's Luke here from PLAJ, and boy have we got some Garrett Wilson film to review today. Last week I made a video talking about how he was burning corners all over the field against the Ravens, and that it was a travesty he wasn't on the field more. Well, Mike LaFleur, he rectified that on Sunday. 13 targets, 8 catches, 102 yards, and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. But it was the manner in which he's winning that makes me think he's this year's Justin Jefferson. So let's take a look at this play to start. The touchdown early in the game to get the Jets competitive before halftime. What we have is an example of an alert. So in the red zone, you can see there's no safety help to the field. So to Garrett Wilson's side, he's at the bottom of your screen. They bring Elijah Moore in motion. It's one-on-one. You're going to throw that ball to Garrett Wilson every time, and it's a very easy touchdown. But how does he get so open? Look at the release. The stutter step release. The ability to freeze the corner. Look how he throws his head and shoulders to the inside. That gets the DB moving and jumping to his right-hand side. He opens up the gate and Garrett Wilson exposes him. And that is a ton of separation in the red zone. This is the most difficult place on the field, the tightest place to get open. Bang, burns him off the release, high points the football, and that is a first career touchdown for Garrett Wilson. But this might have been my favorite play of the game for Garrett Wilson. The Jets are going up against this too high look that the Browns implemented a ton on Sunday. You've got Elijah Moore on the bottom of your screen who's running this kind of deep post route. Then on the other side of the formation, this is where it gets crucial. You've got Tyler Conklin who's running this block and release from his inline tight end spot. And Garrett Wilson runs the money route, this deep corner. But it's the way that he shake and bakes the safety in what ends up eventually being a one-on-one matchup. Does an awesome job at the stem of the route, sending him inside and spinning him around. So we're going to let this play roll at full speed. You can see what I'm talking about. Wilson eats into that cushion and does a fantastic job selling an in-breaking route and then snapping it off and getting wide open. So breaking it down a little further, Garrett Wilson's coming from just near the 20, the numbers, left-hand side of your screen. The best thing he does off the line of scrimmage is how he eats into the cushion. You'll hear me say that a lot. What I mean is he puts the safety under immediate pressure with his speed off the snap. The safety starts to panic and he wants to turn his hips. You can see that Garrett Wilson starts to curve this route towards the hashes. Right now, he's selling that he's running this crossing route, this deep over or this post. The safety turns his hips. That's Garrett Wilson's sign that he needs to put this foot in the ground and just snap and accelerate off his right hand inside leg. And the change of direction is electric. One more time for you, Garrett Wilson just attacking the safety off the snap with his speed, and watch him turn him inside out. Whoop! You can just see this safety looks like he's in the ballet. An incredible pirouette, just turned inside out by Garrett Wilson. 10 yards of separation in the NFL. That is a big boy route. And then one more example of Garrett Wilson in his route running. He's at the top of your screen here. He's going to be put in motion against man coverage. Give him a free release. And what do we see? Again, shake and bake at the stem, get open, but it's also his ability to push this route down the field that makes it really impressive and allows him to have a big play. So free release, you get him running at the corner. He's in a dangerous position. You can see splits his feet just before he gets to the stem of his route. He's trying to freeze that DB. Once again, he sells with his head and his shoulders. You can see him throw them to the sideline. He wants the DB to turn his hips, and he does a little bit. What does that allow? It allows him to attack the inside gate and hip, and he gets open. But he doesn't just continue this route laterally. Look at the way he forces the route vertically to put more stress and more pressure on the DB. Flacco puts it in an incredible spot. He high points the football, and he goes for another 10 yards after the catch. But you're going to see it when we run it at full speed. He's electric and dynamic at the stem of the route. The way that he sells outside, jumps back to the inside, that is the way you beat man coverage in the NFL. But Garrett Wilson and Mike LaFleur also did an incredible job attacking zone coverage. When the Browns put cover 2 on the field, the way they exploited the middle was superb. Here's something you might not know. The big final drive for Joe Flacco, game-winning drive after the onside kick, they ran this play and Garrett Wilson attacking the same zone twice against the cover 2 look that the Cleveland Browns kept presenting, and they attacked their tendencies. Letting this play roll, you're going to see Garrett Wilson, the top of your screen, just sits patiently in the middle of the field between those 2 linebackers. The Cleveland Browns are actually bringing in overload blitz from their right-hand side. What Garrett Wilson does extremely well is he's patient. Look at the way he's slow. He's not in a hurry. He wants to wait for that linebacker who's on the hash to clear out. He takes his time. He hides behind the linebacker and then just pops out and then tries his best to get downfield and take that north-south quickly. But it's the tempo, the ability to understand that you don't need to explode off the line of scrimmage against zone coverage. It's about sitting, it's about finding the soft spot, and it's about waiting for the space and the zone to open up. He did a phenomenal job of it. But the reason it's so impressive and became so important was because of the very next snap. They're going to try and exploit this same linebacker, but they do it a little bit differently. Cleveland's not blitzing this time, so this window is going to be tighter. There's not going to be as much space. They run what I would call a little stop route here from Tyler Conklin, and they're trying to freeze that linebacker for just a moment while they run Garrett Wilson in the window behind him, and they execute it to perfection. Off the snap, Wilson explodes a little more. He just peeks out at the very right time, and Joe Flacco hits him so well. So you can see Tyler Conklin slower off the line of scrimmage, this little stop route, almost like you're going to see a stick from him like we saw from Jason Witten, and you're going to see Garrett Wilson does a loop behind that linebacker. The window opens up, and Joe Flacco throws this football before Garrett Wilson's even open, but Garrett hits it. The timing is there. That's a Jets touchdown with 22 seconds left. A phenomenal job from Mike LaFleur attacking a look, understanding the tendencies, and Garrett Wilson executes. One last example, this one against more of a cover 3 look of Garrett Wilson against zone. They put him in motion here, coming towards the right-hand side of the Jets formation. Again, it's just understanding that he doesn't need to explode off the line of scrimmage versus zone. It's about turning your head at the right time, reading that the linebacker has been drawn in by the play action, and then getting to ground and avoiding the safety hit. 3 nice plays from Garrett Wilson against zone coverage, understanding when to get his hand around, when the football needs to come to him. He just has a great understanding of the game for a rookie, and that's going to help him get so many targets, especially against zone coverage. But unbelievably, a day that Garrett Wilson had 102 yards and 2 touchdowns, they still left a ton of his yards on the field, and Joe Flacco missed him in a couple of crucial times. This is an example of that, and he ran a fantastic route in the red zone. The Jets are running this 3-by-1 look, and really the 2 key routes are going to be Conklin, who's the number 2 receiver on the left-hand side of the Jets formation. He's running this out route at the 10-yard depth at the end zone, and then you have the stick nod from Garrett Wilson. It's all about trying to manipulate this safety that I've circled. Tyler Conklin is trying to move him off the spot towards the left-hand side of your screen. As we let the play roll, you can see he does exactly that. Ooh, a sharp stick nod from Garrett Wilson. He's open over the middle of the field, and Joe Flacco misses him. So what are they trying to do with Conklin? Let's talk about that first. You can see that he's aggressive off the line of scrimmage, gets to 10-yard depth, little hesitation, and runs an out route. That occupies the safety's vision, the safety who's on the R of Browns. That really freezes him for Garrett Wilson. And Garrett from the slot, the number 3 receiver, he runs like he's running this little stop or stick route, but look at the ability to put his foot in the ground and once again just snap and accelerate. He is open right here. In the NFL, if you get 3 or 4 yards open in the end zone, you need to make sure you find him and layer this ball in. In the end, he's missed. He throws up that right hand and nearly manages to snag it, but Joe Flacco has to put this ball in a catchable location. But it's all about the way he plants that right leg, bang, snaps off on the stick nod. Whew, the re-acceleration is special. That's another missed touchdown for Garrett Wilson. Another instance of Garrett being missed, another example of the Jets doing a really nice job scheming him open. You can see they end up in this bunch formation to the bottom of your screen. Garrett Wilson is the closest to the boundary, the bottom of your screen, and he does a fantastic job putting a safety in a blender. The Jets and Mike LaFleur got him against safeties so often. So he's attacking the safety here who's just off the right-hand side hash. Once again, you can see at the stem of the route, he does a fantastic job freezing the feet And then look at the way he changes direction and accelerates out of his break quickly. There's literally 6 yards of separation here. Look, I understand there's a corner underneath and that Joe Flacco has to then layer this ball over the top and find it, but Garrett Wilson is naked here. In the NFL, this is as open as you get. Joe Flacco misses him, but you're going to see it at full speed. Garrett Wilson, again, explodes off the line of scrimmage, eats into that space, and then is just so explosive at this break and the stem of the route, but he's missed by Joe Flacco. And the last play we want to look at, because, we need a fair review, Garrett Wilson dropping a big ball on third down. At the time, I was devastated. I thought this was game over. They do an awesome job on the switch release. So the Jets, we're looking at the top of your screen here. They do a nice job switching. They don't match that well in man coverage to the Browns in this cover one look. And in the end, Garrett Wilson unfortunately drops the football. But it's an awesome concept. They understood that the Browns were running man coverage on a big third down. Switch release, Garrett Wilson's open. Turns his head, right time, timing's there, but tries to make a football move and plant that right foot before he has it, and he drops the football. That was the one weak point from Garrett Wilson in what was otherwise a perfect game. So now I hope you see why I was gushing about Garrett Wilson last week. He is just toasting these safeties and corners. He has an opportunity to be special. He and Elijah Moore are a fantastic tandem for the Jets, and I believe that Garrett Wilson will be this year's Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase.